Time to
Hello,
Hello.
hi. Welcome to episode number 6 of the Bomb Podcast. Yesterday, we picked up Ryan Holiday's 100 Rules for a Better Life, 100 very short rules, and we, picked some of those and talked about it. Today, we're doing something fun. Anshika and I have chosen prompts for each other and haven't revealed them yet. So, Anshika's going to throw a prompt at me that I don't know about. I'm going to comment on it. She will add, and then I'm going to do the same. Let's go.
I wonder if we have the same prompts.
I was just thinking of that, so put like 2 extra just in case. Let's go. Do you wanna? Should I give you your first, or like, do you wanna? What do you want?
I'll go. Now break things down to see what they really are.
This one I particularly resonate with because every time I'm stuck with something, right? Whether it's in like life in general, work, relationships, I've realized that it is because I'm either afraid of something and I'm stuck, right? I'm not able to move forward, or it is because I have made up something about the scenario. And I'm unable to then move forward. To take an example, if I'm working on an important presentation, um, before that I would have I would either be afraid that, hey, I don't know how to do this, it won't come out well, so I'm just like stuck in that same place, or I've made up my mind about these are the things that could ruin it, right? Break things down has almost always been the solution. Like if I'm writing a piece, if I'm working on an important presentation, if I have to have a difficult conversation in relationships, breaking down more than helping the other person, helping the task, it helps you get to the core of it. And the secret here is that when you do get to the core of it, you realize, hey, it wasn't a big deal anyways, right? And this reminds me, I read a book about changing habits and all that. I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the author or the book. I will find it. There they talked about how when you think about the worst thing that could happen to you in a situation, think about the worst thing that could happen to you, write it down, say it out loud to yourself. Exactly, right? Say it really, like say it out loud to yourself. And you will notice that your brain is instantly prepared for it. Most times, uncertainty is the problem. So I think breaking things down does that. AK, if you would like to add, I want you to share your hack of the when you're writing pieces and you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You can go, yeah, like, but yeah, that's
I,
what.
I wrote exactly those two things on my notepad. 3 rules and the worst that could happen. I'm not even kidding. Look at this. Yeah, so worst that could happen is probably the best advice Chandni has ever relayed to me from whatever book that she read. It worked really well. Three basic things is that whenever I'm trying to write something and I'm unable to decide how to put the words together to best communicate it, I go back to the basics and ask myself, what are the 3 truths I want to convey through this piece of writing or through this piece of communication? If it's a text, if it's a LinkedIn post, if it's Instagram, if it's a newsletter, whatsoever. Once you have those 3 rules in place in very simple language, you can fill the faff around it. But this main content, like your burger patties are in place, and then you put all the veggies and sauce and masala and all that. But try it, it really helps. It has always helped me. Now, whenever I'm writing things, I first write down my 3 main truths that I want to convey and then stuff it with like content for SEO and algorithm.
Amazing. Exactly. Got it. One, I'll go now for you. Don't wait until later, do it now.
You really thought I am the one to answer that?
Exactly
Um,
why I chose it. I'm sure like there must be something different you have to say about this. I think that's what my thought was.
um, I think I actually quite struggle with the idea of doing things now because more often than not, I am like, I will do it when I have this extended period of free time, which we talked about in the previous episode. But lately, I've been trying to break that habit and try to do things in the moment, even if it's shitty work. I'll do something and then probably build upon it. So that, but I've also seen, so that's like work things, but with college projects, because I have a lot of college examples, they always happen the night before. And I hate it. I hate it so much. Somehow I really struggle with the whole group project situation in general. I don't know. Like, the peak of project management is successfully doing a college project. Actually, this is what the test should be. Put all the project manager candidates in college and assign them teams and make them do tasks. If they're able to successfully, without any fights, without any fallouts, able to deliver a project in time with good grades, that's when you have to hire them. But yeah, this always happens that last moment, last night, things are getting done and shipped, and throughout the month, I'm just begging and crying and texting people and irritating them. Please come kar lo, please come kar lo. I have done everything. Kuch to kar lo, please. Aur wo nahi hota. But I think this is something that's really lacking in college. There should be a system to sort of navigate it. Could probably professors try to be a little more invested in the entire duration of the project and do weekly check-ins. Like I had this teacher who gave us this assignment of rebranding a pawn shop. It was a 1 month long live project, really intensive. But every week she would make us sit down and tell us like a proper review. What did you do? What did each person in this group do? What did you learn? So it was really reflective. But yeah, that helped. Also taught us how to sort of break down your task into smaller chunks so that you can deliver it in time. But yeah, that comes to mind.
I don't have anything more to add to it. But yeah, that's
Turn.
yes.
I'm gonna skip the next one because I'm really curious about the one that I have. It says, don't overthink the price on a book, but if you think you'll read it and purchase, and the purchase will pay you back. Huh?
Worth it.
Oh, I know. Oh, okay. I typed it in my rickshaw, so I typed it messily. It says, don't overthink the price of a book. Buy it if you think you will read it, and the purchase will pay you back.
Okay, got it. I'm guessing they just don't mean a book. But I'll talk about the book first. I don't know. I mean, I do look at price tags. But I have bought expensive books in the past 1 year because of recommendations, because of all that, right? And they've been really good purchases. I mean, I think Paul Graham's book was not like a 300 rupees paperback. It wasn't. It was an expensive one. But always good purchases. Buy good books if you think they'll pay you back. In life, I'll talk about money because that's what reminds me. It's a tough prompt, okay? Because you have to like, I don't know, interpret it in your own way. Anyways, Anshika is tricky like that with me. Okay, with money, I have lately begun looking at money as a tool for convenience. I've learned this from my mentor. I've learned only from that one person because, that's been like, that's a lesson nobody, I don't know, an Indian household doesn't mostly give you.
No, they don't. Yeah.
They don't, right? Exactly. So from this, like from my mentor, I've learned that you're seeing money as a tool for convenience. So if I were to think about not thinking about the price when things will pay back, it is a tough habit to have, but I think it's been great, right? I'll give you an example. I have started taking better commute, like I've chosen better commute options if it means that I will be better rested when I reach home, right? If on a weekend I'm outside and I want to, I don't know, feel rested for the week ahead, or even on a random day, I've started doing that. As for in life in general, I think gauging overpaying for something, like how do you gauge if it be like worth it or not? It requires a leap of faith, a pros and cons list, for sure. But these two things, I think, are how I sort of navigate through your videos off.
It's off because there was this little ray of light coming in and just irritating.
It's still coming.
Yeah, so I tried to clean the screen and
it's okay. But yeah, that's what I think. What was your interpretation? Like mine was
yeah, exactly that. Just the whole idea that any time, money, energy, or effort you invest in self-growth, in the caring of your brain, like I call it, it's not wasted. And if you can afford it, if your basic necessities are met, please try and invest more in yourself than probably in a distant future. And I know this advice comes from a place of huge privilege, but probably if your bases are covered, try and spend a little marginally more on yourself. It helps.
Yeah. And buy the books you think will pay you back for sure.
Yeah. Also, you can like go get PDFs. I don't want
there's
to.
a whole like controversial debate about that. I
I
think
know there is, but I think that because if you learn things from a book, you just become an asset to the society and then you can contribute to the world at large.
yes, that's a great. We should be in one of those book club debates about this. But anyways,
It will be
I don't want to
funny.
engage on the internet. Yeah. Amazing. My next one was something you picked already. What my first prompt that you gave me. So I'll
Oh,
um, uh you must tame your temper. I'll tell you why I chose this. I want to talk about it as 22-year-olds. I want to talk about that, temper. It's been, I don't know, the last time I spoke to somebody about this in respectful, like debate discourse. So that's why.
I actually wanted you to choose that because I've written an entire piece about trying to control my temper, not control, but just manage it and to navigate anger. And I've always struggled with it. But what I've realized now, the system that works for me is if I am, say, overwhelmed, angry, irritable, all of that, the best interest thing to do for everybody is that I just distance myself from the situation, from the people, so that I do not say something which will probably be irreversible in the long term, and do things which might prove detrimental to the situation, to the relationship, to whatever, and then maybe take a break and then come back to it. And then I think just that cooling off time helps you. But in times when you have to take a decision, I think sometimes there's nothing you can do but just take a deep breath and tell yourself that, dude, this is important. This needs to be done. So put your ego aside, put your temper aside, and think very rationally. You will be thankful for this rational decision making in the future. You can be angry later, but this is important. This matters. So yeah, very general, but also like overarching advice.
No, I don't think it's general. I mean, I don't because I don't know. At least I haven't. Maybe it might just be me, but I haven't been able to talk about this at length with many people. That's why I was very curious. Plus, it was a very interesting prompt. I agree with the fact that you should like taming your temper is a great piece of advice. For me, I have not allowed myself to feel temper, like feel angry, especially in relationships. So I come from the other side, right? I have never. It's been so much so that I will not even acknowledge that, or even if I have acknowledged it, I've been great at like pushing it down and never addressing it. However, like because of that, in the past 2 years, I've been able to realize that the solution, which works brilliantly for me, even if it's like super tough, is to talk it out. Like that, I think it is. There's no other way to this. Like I think closure and conversation helps everybody's temper, right? Taming temper is also, I remember the thing that we discussed yesterday. Character is fate. I think it does come down to that. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, like you have to be it, and it's what is the general piece of advice about this? It is that you can only control how you react to something. And I know it's
Yes,
been,
yes.
I don't know, I'm sad it's overused in different contexts, but it is true, right? So I think when they say tame your temper, they're just trying to like tell you that, hey, in that situation, that part of it is in your control. And when you've tamed your temper, you will be able to, like you said, rationally make a decision and manage it. So that's what I think about it.
Something came to mind. So the idea of feeling anger, I think as young women, as little girls, from the very start, we've been told to not express anger. If a child is angry, they just told, okay, like I remember these exact lines being said to me 1,000 times growing up that अच्छे बच्चे गुस्सा नहीं करते. You're not taught to feel your anger wala emotion, which is sad. And that, yeah, I agree. I have realized that in the long term, I hate that. I hate being angry with people, at people. And it's caused a lot of resentment. And it builds up and then it erupts someday and it just ends up badly. So one that. Second, talk it out. I don't want to say it to Chandni's face, but if I were to write her a love letter for her birthday, which I never wrote, one of the points would probably be that only after I've known her is that I've actually practiced the whole advice of talking it out. She's gotten me to practice it somehow because I like her, because I hate her so much. But we talk out a lot. which is nice, which is sweet. She's blushing. She's blushing. I love that. So, yeah, that. And I've also realized that the course of most relationships in your life is probably decided by how you handle conflict, how you handle anger,
Yeah.
difficult conversations. So, yeah, do it well. Talk it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I think if you want to make it work, then there's like it's a easy, like it's a hard choice, easy life thing. The hard choice is to sit and talk about it, because really vulnerable things come out when you've decided to talk about it. Like the thing you're sad about, you don't want to, like for example, the reason talking it out is difficult for me is because in my head it's such a big deal. I feel so bad about it. But the second I start saying it out loud, it feels stupid, right? And then you're constantly just worried about, and that's why it's tough to talk it out. That's why you have to feel super comfortable and safe with somebody to do that. But
Oh, yeah. I think it also makes you realize that you've been silly. And most times you have it.
yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
if the other person gives you that safe space, then that silly is a good thing, then, right? You realize
Mm.
we're good. We can get past this. I think that.
Yeah.
And my God, when you talk it out, and now it is not about taming your anger anymore, but talking it out, you're then not alone in the problem anymore. Then you put it out on the table for both of you to share that, right? For both these people, both these individuals,
Correct.
share that and sort it out together. It's just not what you're angry about anymore. It is
Yeah,
about,
it's not like it's you versus them. It becomes the two of you versus the problem.
yes, exactly. I think that's always been a beautiful thing, like I've read about. Yeah, amazing.
My turn? My
Yes,
turn?
your turn.
Belief in yourself is overrated. Generate evidence.
Oh, I have talked about this a lot, not probably like published a lot of it, but at least in my close circles. It is true. Believe in yourself is not entirely. Okay, I'll talk about it, right? There are two levels to this. One, this whole idea about motivation, I call it a fallacy, and it's connected to this. Just saying believe in yourself or waking up every day and deciding to believe in yourself does not work. Like, it is just a bad piece of advice. How do you believe in yourself? Where does belief come from, right? Where does confidence come from? Somebody I was talking to the other day also told me this, that they one day decided to have high self-esteem, okay? And then they asked themselves, what would I do if I had high self-esteem? And they started to do that. Now, you could pick out multiple things from this, but this is what I picked. Clearly, the doing bit is what was important, right? Like, it can go either way. You either decide to believe in yourself and then sort of like feed that by doing the things that would give you more confidence, or you just do the thing you're supposed to do, and that adds to confidence. Like today, what are things you can claim confidently, right? What are, Anshika, I don't know, tell me a thing you can claim confidently.
I did my math studies in 10th grade every day for 2 years at 4 a.m.
Exactly. Yeah, right. So you would be able to claim that, hey, I'm capable of waking up at 4 a.m. if I commit to something. The only
Correct.
you can say that today is because you have that proof of concept. I can claim very proudly, not even proudly, proud is not the point, confidently, that I can work out regularly. I can go for everyday runs. It's only because I've done it, right? So believe in yourself as a piece of advice is overrated. Doing it is what feeds this cycle. Like, and I think Shreya Patar is the person. I'd read this, a different version of this, like I'd seen it 2 years ago, seen her talking about this, that when you confidently like, confidence only comes from action, right? Like you just have to wake up and do the thing you said you would do. Today, I cannot confidently say I will wake up at 6 a.m. for 7 days a week, because I've never done it. And I cannot say it. And I will not, okay, Anjana, you tell me, believe in yourself. That won't work, right? So yeah, that's what I think about it. But I was hoping you picked that up. So yeah.
Remember yesterday we were talking about how when you do something regularly, you can claim it and then it just adds to your confidence to do greater things because you have this under your belt. So probably that. Also, I remember Adi sir giving this convocation speech at Ved's graduation ceremony in school, and he said that everybody here has a lot of potential, but it's not the potential that matters because everybody has that. What matters is what you do with it. And I think of that a lot. I don't want to be somebody who dies with like a lot of potential. Like I don't want people to say when I die that, hey, she had a lot of potential. I don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was, oh God. I think, okay, I have done my thinking of death for the day. That's
Yes.
it.
Yesterday, one of the 100 pieces, one of them was think about death every day deliberately.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I'm gonna
Done.
you. Amazing.
Your turn? Do you give me?
Yeah,
you give
my
me.
turn. 83. Don't talk about projects until you're finished.
Why you?
Exactly. Yeah, because it's I want to disagree. That's why I want to know why.
I fully disagree. I cannot not talk about my projects. Like projects don't happen if you don't talk about them. They don't or not like good enough. If something comes to my mind, one, I tweet it. Second, I have a group with Chani and Saurabh. I send it there. Third, I have a group with 40 of my closest friends. I send it there. And then I start to execute it. Because what happens then is either they tell me to my face, it's shitty. And few people in this circle of 42 people, jinka taste and jinka judgment, I fully trust. So if they tell me it's shitty, I will probably not pursue it unless I'm ultra convinced, okay, you're wrong. So A, that. Second, they also tell me ways to do it better. The whole process, in the whole entire process, if I face some issues, I can probably reach out to them and tell them, hey, like, help me out. This is a problem. So you need to put out your work in the world. And the whole idea of building in public, we live for building in public. This is building in public. So I don't know. I don't agree. I really do not agree. Probably the one time that we've tried to do it is that remember we were watching the Y Combinator series for 21 days. The idea was the entire SOG group will watch one video of the YCSS series for one day, for 21 days. And we'll not talk about it before we finish it. And only one of us was able to do it out of a group of 7, 8 people. So, and Saurabh told us, do not talk about it till you've done it. Go out in the world and claim that you've done it. And only one of us was able to. But that was the only time we did it. Even then, I think we could come back to each other at least in our inner circle and talk about it. So that helped. But never in my life have I not built in public. And never in my life would I want to not build in public. However, I realized today that I'm also very sort of scared or not scared, but uncomfortable with being seen trying. So I don't know where my mental balance is. I want to be seen building in public, but I also don't want to be seen trying to do things and failing at it, maybe. But yeah, it's like a tightrope, and I'm trying to walk it and balance and figure what goes. But yeah, that. I did have something else to mind and it does not come back anymore. So
I think
thought
if it
tha
comes,
chala-
sorry, what?
thought tha chala gaya.
Thought chala gaya. Exactly. No, if it does come back, tell me. But the only time, the thing that you said, right? Like you're unable to, like you're not very comfortable with the idea of talking about trying something and it not working. The only time, most times that I've seen people talk about failures also, or like if not failure, but like the struggle, like the points that they're struggling with, has been when they're entirely honest with themselves. Like I think the time that you can talk about the struggle period is when you know that okay, you're not just avoiding doing something, right? Your project, there is a real roadblock there, and when you've been honest with yourself, then even talking about that struggle becomes easier. And of course it like there are a lot of variables there, right? It is about being only seen as a specific person, not being like comfortable talking about failure is now, I don't know, in the LinkedIn world, failure is now suddenly very okay to talk about, but it was not always um but
It's
yeah,
just in the LinkedIn world, though. I don't think even those people who write like 500-word posts about it actually go out and tell you that, hey, this is what I failed at this week.
yeah.
Probably we should do that on LinkedIn. I don't know. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but that's what I think about it. But yeah, I can't see any other point.
I got my idea. The idea was that I've met a lot of people who have some idea, but will probably not go out in the world and talk about it till they're done with it. And the reason they don't talk about it is that they're insecure of somebody stealing that idea and working on them. And to that, I just say that execution beats, like executing one idea brilliantly beats 1,000 really great ideas. So that I wish more people could understand that. But yeah,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, if there were even, yeah, same. If there are a couple of ideas I would love to propagate. I promise
Mm,
really healthy ideas, but this would be one of them, honestly. Yeah.
exactly. My turn, my turn, my turn.
Yes.
I'll give you. Stillness is the key.
Oh, I wish it was the key. I mean, it is the key. I wish it was for me too.
That's us.
Yeah, that is stillness in your mind. Um, I think that's what they mean. Like this sense of control, or like not even control, but I don't know what the right word is. Calm, control, or
Hurrah.
yeah, exactly. This therav in your head is really important. I think it also reminds me of how, I don't know, it somehow reminds me of um the ability to bounce back to your mean, right? Like to your like um
Remember,
what?
we talked about that mean state of happiness
Yes,
thing.
yes. Yeah,
I
I
think
remember.
I just mentioned
Exactly,
that.
right? I remember exactly. So I was in the metro this one time and I was talking to Saurabh about um I had just come back from a small break, like a 2 day, like, Anshika, right? I don't take like my
Mhm.
weekends off, but there are,
Yeah.
say, once every 2 months, I have a 2-3 day break that I take. So I was coming from one of them and I was feeling really guilty about
Underwear.
taking that break. Yeah, not just happy, felt like catching up. It's a usual thing that I'm now trying to battle. At that time, we talked about this, and you exactly got it right. That so, like on the extreme ends, you have really happy, like you're really happy and you're really sad. The ideal state is to come back to the mean. For example, today if we had a small win at the DD, at DD, like the project that we got, that makes us really happy. I think stillness means I'm getting distracted by it. I think stillness means being able to enjoy that moment of happiness, realize what it gives you, and come back to your mean. You have to operate from stillness, is what I think. Decisions are never great when they're made when you're overly excited about something, right? You still will have to execute that overly excitedness, you'll have to come back here. When you're really upset, I mean, it's an age-old advice, never make decisions when you're sad, angry, etc. So you have to come back here. So I think when they say stillness is the key, is the ability to train your mind to operate from a not neutral, sorry, neutral is a long word, but like
Your base level, whatever
yeah,
your base level of existence
exactly.
happens.
I think that's stillness. Also, it reminds me of a yoga posture. Like, imagine if I'm doing that, like balancing bit. Each time
Mhm.
you will feel like, okay, you're falling. I mean, unless you trained, but can you come back to that, right? Like the falls are normal, right? Like the oh shit, I'm like, maybe this 1 second I couldn't balance it. But I think that posture is the key. Like that's how I think about it.
Okay. When I was given the same advice with the same person, and my context was that I told Saurabh that, dude, after every birthday, I go to my room and cry. Do you have any idea why that happens? And he told me that probably happens because on your birthday, let's say this is one axis and this is the other axis, y and x. This is your base level of happiness. On your birthday, you're probably here. The entire day you're here, and the birthday ends, and suddenly you're in your room alone, empty, living an empty life without people, without all the love, without all the happiness, excitement. So probably that drop from here to here that suddenly happens is the reason you cry. I'm not sure, but yeah, he told me that maybe just come back to this, or even when you're here, know that this exists and this is where you actually are supposed to be.
Yeah.
And even when on your birthday, after the whole falling, you're here, know that this is where you will wake up tomorrow. So every day, this is the level you're supposed to wake up at.
Yeah, no,
No
it's
matter what
beautiful.
happens.
I've cried on every birthday, and I'm gonna connect the same advice to this context as well now. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Do you have a thing?
Yes, I do. The next one would
This
be
should be the last one. I think we've recorded like too much, and I
yes,
don't want to do really long episodes,
yes,
20.
same.
But
I love this one. It was beautiful. Wrap up each day as if it were the end of your life.
ooh, I like that. I've never thought about my days like that, but that's beautiful. That just means I'll probably have a lot of coffee and not sleep, but okay. But on a serious note, though, if I were to, one thing that I try to do and I've realized does not almost always work is that I never go to bed with an argument with anybody. So my general way to tackle an argument is that we fight and then we take some breathing time. But before I go to bed, I'll drop you a message, tell you, okay, fine, fuck you, but I love you. Let's wake up tomorrow and fight. So probably that. And somehow sometimes that backfires because not everybody is ready to handle and navigate and discuss and think about and open up that bunch of emotions right then. So I don't know what the balance is, but probably that. So one thing would be that. Second, if I'm to wrap up my day, like it's my last day, I would close all communication with everybody. I will not be rude to anybody. If I have been rude to anybody in the morning, I'll probably make up for it. I think it's mostly about people. If it was my last day, oh, I don't see where work comes into the picture. I would probably spend my day doing the greatest work I could and be happy about it at the end of the day. But that would be it. I'll probably not regret it. I'll probably not be cribby about it
Yeah.
or feel like I'm at loss of things. So yeah, just
Yeah.
that.
I remembered, yeah, relationships was the same context. I remember this thing I read about like 7, 8 years ago. There was this couple that they had a rule between themselves that they would, regardless of
I
anything,
picked it from. That's where I picked it
yes,
from.
regardless of whatever happens between them in life, in the world, they will have dinner on the same table with like
Correct.
from one plate, not
Yeah.
dinner on the same table from one plate. And it was written very well. It talked about how, imagine you've had the worst fight, but you still, like, your hands are touching, you're still eating from the same plate, right? And you're sitting really close to each other. And in that moment, what happens is that, okay, your problems don't go away. You probably still have to talk, like, you have to discuss it rationally, right? But in that moment, you don't feel alone. And you do feel like, okay,
You also know that there is love. There is this angst, but there's also love at the same.
yeah, and that, like, just being able to share that moment, regardless of what's gone down, reminds you that, okay, I want to sort this out with that person, right? But like, I think that was I've not forgotten it in all these years, and that's what it reminded me of and what you told me. But yeah, I think that would
My
be a good
advice
parting
doing
thought.
this was I would always wish good night to all the people I love and care about at the end
Yeah,
of the day.
yeah.
And
The remote method is that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, correct. Yeah.
that was episode 6 of the Bob podcast. Bye.
Bye. I don't have the recording bit here. 1 second. Yes, bye.